You not give him the people what they want, then you say you came to rescue. Let me ask you, Mr. Rescue, the people say not like you. You say you was going to change things, but we not seeing changes. Promises you made you and your rescue team. We not seeing changes. You made the whole country divided into two. CDC and Unity Party, they can't conclude. You downsizing, you wish hunting. Now when they die for the Liberian people suffering. You downsizing, you wish hunting. Now when they die for the Liberian people suffering. Tell me who you rather give the rescue now. You and your rescue team. I say, oh, it's a rescue. I just wanna ask you one question. Now who you came to rescue? You not give him the people what they want, then you say you came to rescue. Let me ask you, Mr. Rescue, the people say not like you. That's what yama 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 yama.
Good afternoon, good afternoon, good evening, good morning, and a pleasant welcome to all of you on Freedom FM 87.9. This is the official voice of Freedom Communications Incorporated. My name is Oliver Kine. I'm here with Princess Alexa Vanja Colley on today's edition, being the 29th day of April 2025 remains the year. And of course, there are too many things to talk about in the country. On yesterday, we witnessed the joint security forces of our country, men and women of the Liberian National Police. We saw individuals from the Liberian National Fire Service, the Liberian Drug Enforcement Agency, the Liberian Immigration Service. Individuals from the security apparatus of our country gathered in Monrovia on yesterday. They were kind of parading across the city. People from the Liberian government will say it was a display of what they would brand as show of force to the citizens. Do you need to show your force to the citizens of the country? Do we need to put out all of the armories? Do we need to display the weapons in our possession as a government to deter individuals wanting to commit crime? Do we need to parade the joint security officers of our country as a way of instilling deterrence, or better still, trying to discouraging people from coming out to express themselves regarding issues relative to the constitutional brutalization? Do we need to show the foes of our security people to prevent Liberians who have been hurt, Liberians who have been disregarded, Liberians who have been victimized as a result of the wanton disregard for the rule of law in the country? What is it? We talk about that issue on today. We're going to talk more about it on today's edition, right here on 87.9, where Alexa and I jump deeply into the conversation. One country, two speakers. Liberia continues to run in the history of a comical republic. That's what it is. And Takunje will say, so drama and so yama yama. In the midst of it all, I think there is some good news around the corner. For the first time, in this administration, we're witnessing some form of steady electricity across the place. The new LEC managing director is doing extremely well. We got to acknowledge that one. But beyond that, the rest of it happening in the country will be referred to as yama yama, according to what Takun is saying. The laws of the country, the constitution of the country, respecting tenure positions. These are non-compromising situations that we should never in any dispensation, as a people and country, we should never compromise the upholding of the rule of law, the respect for constitutional order, These are things that will continue to keep the Liberian Republic moving in one piece
Let me ask you.
and not in pieces.
The people say not like you.
We will talk more on the topic plus other issues of national concern. But first of all, let's take our break and bring you Crime Stoppers Liberia, our official sponsor. And that will be accompanied by Yanjin Beer and Liberty Fortune. Until then, my name is Kai, and let's have this here. Let's take a break to be right back.
Mr. Rescue, I just want to ask you one question. That who you give the rescue? You not give him the people what they want, then you say you give the rescue. Let me ask you, Mr. Rescue, the people say not like you.
Keep me unsafe, let's stop me now for play to your door. Stop me cry and make a peace for them before. Stop all Liberia, on the center to interior. Keep me unsafe, let's stop me now for all.
Crime Stopper Liberia is here for you. Remember, you see it, you report it. This is a message from your own self, Omen Sam Sion.
Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and make a peace for them before. Crime Stopper.
Young TT to Deja. Introducing Yanjin Beer from Beijing, the newest sensation in town. Yanjin Beer is so smooth and light. You can drink it, wake up in that morning, feeling very energized. And you wicked boy, the woman will be very happy. No headache, no eye spinning. And the Yanjin Beer bottle, it got a special way again open. Nobody will ever use you for the opener again. Very easy. Yanjin Beer can be found wholesale or retail at Sir Exeter and Jungle Water, and also in supermarkets or bars around you. Reward yourself by drinking Yanjin Beer, and trust me, you will be ready to go.
Time the money, use your time well. Waka.
Yes.
Peewee,
Yes.
what all the happiness for now?
Yama.
Mhm.
The thing that making some of our friends in other countries can be building houses and sending their children to Google schools now come to Liberia, yeah?
What's that?
They got one Liberian company called Liberty Fortune.
Liberty Fortune?
Yes, this company bringing one game they call Liberty Fortune Scratch and Win game.
And how people can play this game?
Very easy. Buy their ticket and scratch the silver part on it. Just the same way you can do the scratch card. Then any money you see on it is for you. You can win different amount of money, all the way up to 10,000 USD.
So you mean when I buy the Liberty Fortune scratch card and build the silver part, any money there is for me?
Yes, and you only need just $1 USD or the same money LD to play and win.
But where I can get a Liberty scratch card from now?
Go to the shops, go to the boys who selling scratch cards and tell them that you want Liberty scratch card. Pay, scratch, and win. And then you take the winning card to their office at the Don's residence on 2nd Street, Tottenham Boulevard in Cinco for your money.
Peewee, thank you for this life-changing game. Liberty scratch card, we for it every day. Spend small money and win big money.
A message from Liberty Fortune LLC, the new game changer in Liberia. Oh yeah.
Time the money,
Okay, Liberty Fortune, Yanjin Beer, Crime Stoppers Liberia, proudly associated with Freedom Hub on 87.9. Alexa, bonsoir. Why are you laughing?
Because you're not sure what you want to say or how you want to speak anyway.
Okay, bonsoir.
But I'd like to say good afternoon to you, Oliver, and good morning, good afternoon. Good
You
evening
did
to-
French in school. Why are you not responding in French? I mean, I could inform AME University to revoke your French grades and you go back to school to go.
So you want to speak French?
Yeah, so I mean, I spoke French. You should have responded in French, though.
Good afternoon.
Bonsoir.
Oliver. Good afternoon, Oliver.
No, so I mean, respond.
Comment ça va?
Ça va un peu, ça va un peu. Et toi?
Are they one from Africa Coast or the one from Maryland? Which one? Forget it.
Maryland doesn't have French.
Forget it. But
J'ai pas de bon français ou la Côte d'Ivoire. Why are you laughing?
Liberians, how you doing? Right? Let's forget about Oliver right now
Qu'est-ce
speaking French.
qu'est-ce que tu vas voir?
Because he's not going to go far. He's not going to go far. Like 100%.
Why are you saying that?
Because I know you now.
No, I mean that's
I know you will.
I mean that's not fair.
If Austin is listening,
Austin is not listening.
If Austin is listening, Austin knows exactly what I'm talking about. You're going to start, but you're not going to finish.
No, but I'm better than Austin in terms of speaking French.
No, but Austin doesn't speak French.
Simple, you know. I think what he
But
can.
I think Austin speaks VAR.
No, Italia. You know, he went to Rome. Yeah, he went to Rome. He went to see the Pope, the late Pope Francis of Assisi.
Austin.
Yeah, so Austin speaks Italia very well. Esperino.
So did he learn that in
Italy when he went there?
Wait, how many days did he stay?
It doesn't matter how many days you spend in Italy.
I
The
know
fact that
you.
Austin
No,
went to Italy,
no, I know
Austin
you.
can speak Italia.
So I don't want you speaking on Austin's behalf.
Ask
I
Austin,
want Austin
go to
speak-
Austin right now and ask him.
to
You
speak
hear
for
him saying,
himself.
you hear him saying, Espirio, Siliendo, Polianto. But listen, I mean, I'm being honest about it, right? If you go to Austin right now, you tell Austin, hello, he'll tell you Alexa Moliano, Espirianto.
Oliver is putting you on the spotlight.
No, but I'm being honest.
So wherever you are,
If we need,
Wherever you are,
if we
you're
need,
being
if we
put on the
need a
spotlight.
Liberian envoy to Italy, Austin is
Austin
best
will be
suited.
there, huh?
That man can speak the thing.
Okay, no problem.
Moliano, Poliento, Oluono.
One thing about you that's all future
What?
is the fact that you like to sell people.
No, I'm not. I'm not selling. I'm being authentic.
Okay.
Austin is fluent in speaking Italian,
No problem.
and that's what it is.
No problem.
Abu Shari speaks Arabic very well. You know, no. Why are you saying that? Abu Shari speaks Arabic very well. So, I mean, you take Abu Shari to Qatar, you know, Dubai,
Oh, my word.
Bahrain, Saudi Arabia. He's gonna speak, you know, Arabic very well.
And what do you speak fluently?
Me, I mean, I speak a bit of Gemma. You know, I'm Oliver Kiner, so I speak a bit of. I mean, you say anything in the German language, I'll respond. I speak a bit of Spanish.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I speak a little bit of Kisi.
No. We're discussing something that's out of here.
No, I speak a little bit of Kisi.
Okay.
Yeah.
How do you say hello?
Hello in what?
In Kisi.
In Kisi, hello Kene.
Ajokene.
No, I mean that's different. I mean, it depends on what you want to say. I mean, you could say your hello, and I can say hello. Hello in speaking to one person,
Don't forget
and
it.
the rest of it could be speaking to more than one,
in
two.
a rescue government because you get very strong more. But don't forget it.
No, I mean it's not about strong mouth. You asked me to speak in Kisi, and I did that.
No.
I mean, there's no way you're gonna hold me here on anything.
Say Laos.
Laos said what Laos said.
You say you can speak Kisi, then you asking me again.
but that's why it is, you know. If you're there, we are here. It's good to welcome you back to the country.
Oh my God.
Look, the country is difficult, and let me
So
say that.
you need a moment
The-
to
yeah,
smile.
the country is difficult.
Need that,
If you
like, seriously.
almost all of us, even sitting here, KOK sitting right here, I got multitude of problems that I have. But when you don't find time to stress free,
Problems don't finish. I mean,
problems will never finish.
Never,
Regardless
ever.
of whatever the case is, you are still going to be confronted with a lot of problems. And so the best thing you want to do for yourself as a human is to find that time out, you know, stress free. You know, our boss lady, the CEO of Freedom Radio, Council Kevin Freeman Science, this morning she did a post. She said she's God's daughter. So I said, okay, you God's daughter. Alexa is God's granddaughter. The Ome Samson is God's son-in-law. Oh yeah, come here. if she's God's daughter and she's the wife to Ome Samson, Ome Samson is automatically God's son-in-law. And see, Ome Samson is your father, Alexa. So you become God's daughter-in-law.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm God's son-in-law. to the CEO. But that's why it is, and we just thought to crack you a little bit. Somebody said I would have been a good comedian if I
Yeah, seriously.
had gone to comedy,
Seriously.
but no.
Maybe stand up. Stand up would do a great job for you.
Okay,
Stand up comedy.
okay.
You're now going to add in skits.
Oh,
You're now going
okay,
to do videos.
okay.
You just the same way you're behind these microphones, you're just going to have your audience there, and you're going to have your microphone.
Oh yeah.
And then you start to talk about things randomly.
Maybe that's going to be my side hustle someday. Yeah, perhaps it's going to be my side hustle.
And I'll be your manager proudly.
I mean, Liberia is not a good country.
Proudly.
Pays au Liberia, c'est pas bon, c'est pas très bon. You know, I mean, the country is not too good. That's why I just said. Don't be looking at me. I didn't say you should eat your French school fees with kala. You know, we went to French classes.
Oliver, don't trap me.
And we learn what we learn.
Okay.
Okay, so when I was in Argos, there was this French that I learned, but it was kind of disgruntled. You know, you and your man arguing too much. You know, you lost in the argument. You tell the man, ferme ton bouche. You know what I mean? Okay. Anybody know what this one means? Comment in the comment section. We leave you with it. We'll go into the real topic. So if you and your man arguing and the man say, hey, ferme ton bouche. Ferme ton bouche. Il était frappé bien. Tu compris? Tu compris, non?
Oliver, we speak more French are going.
What?
So the French is speaking and so they can say colloquial French.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, colloquial French. I'm French.
Colloquial French.
Colloquial French. Enough French. Oh, yeah. Okay. So that's why it is. So let's go. So, Masisi calling the show.
Does Masisi speak French? Does Masisi understand French?
I think she understands exactly.
So let's have her on.
I think she understands the one I just said when I said ferme ton bouche. Masisi, you can understand French?
Yeah, mama.
Okay.
Yeah.
You be a lesser flat if you don't say shut your mouth. The one says ferme ta bouche.
Okay. You say simple.
So,
Simple.
Oh, wait.
Don't argue now. Simple. If finish.
No, wait.
What?
So that's exactly what we're doing now, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're doing now.
What are we doing?
Do you understand Spanish?
So you want to speak Spanish?
Do you understand Spanish?
I do.
Don't worry, tomorrow coming.
Okay.
I will speak 5 different languages here. And maybe that the people will call you for I Love Liberia to tell you what I'm saying.
Okay, no trouble.
Okay.
But until then, it's a wonderful day.
My sister always has my back.
It is no.
Always.
She, anyway, but she just told you what I said now.
Don't worry.
Yeah,
I'll pay back.
ferme ton bouche.
I will pay back. That should be the two director to rescue missionaries. Not me.
Ferme ton bouche.
Not me.
People say shut up. But again, let's go to real issues. I'm sure that everybody who came to listen to the show with anger, you know, some way somehow your little temper cool down small. But you see, my people, and let me say this, Alexa. The country is. I'm getting afraid for Liberia. I mean, this is just the honest truth about it. I think I'm getting afraid for my country, and there is a need that all of us, regardless of where we find ourselves, it doesn't matter which political ideology we subscribe to, Alexa, whether you are a CDCN, you are a unity partisan, you're from the Liberty Party, or somebody who is an ANC supporter, or better still, you subscribe to Benini Uris ALP. Regardless of who you are, you know, Mazda Kimia, Musa Belete CMC, regardless of your party, I think we should all be concerned about where the country is headed. I say this to our people. When development is happening, it doesn't choose who will benefit. I mean, national developmental projects. For example, Alexa, the road that was built by President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf from Red Light all the way to Ganta, the road that was reconditioned because it was built before she did the rehabilitation. CDC people can ride on that road to go to Ganta. You know, the party people, even people who not get party, they can ride on that road. What does that mean? It means development doesn't choose who is going to be a beneficiary, especially national developmental projects. Everybody can be a part The Invincible Park, there is nowhere at the Invincible Park that requires you to sign which party you're from before entering the park to go play basketball. Which religion are you? Similarly, the 14 Military Hospital today, I've seen a lot of people who supported the Unity Party, who still support the Unity Party, go to the 14 Military Hospital because it is a government facility. You don't need to be a partisan of any party to have medical attention, given to you at the 14 Military Hospital, like the JFK and all other hospitals in the country. Similarly, as in the case of development, so it is in the case of chaos and instability. When trouble comes in the country, they will not ask who Unity partisan, who the other person, because it will be the survival of the fittest. And that's what we are saying. In the midst of the peace we continue to enjoy as a people and country, in the midst of our mutual coexistence as a people, there is a need that we all play our part in ensuring that this country doesn't retrogress, especially from the angle of stability. It is important. I say this to me, when you find the Liberian government in the business of going to the public with joint security actors displaying weaponaries, taking their lethal weapons from their ammo rooms, arming police officers, arming officers of the fire service, people from the LRS, different joint security, folks, and you see them on the road with the syringe, wow, boom, boom, holding gun, acting like you're preparing to go for a war. I mean, those are not good sign of any country wanting progress. For the government to start to do that, it shows that the government is aware that there is some form of dissatisfaction amongst the citizenry. What do? Do you prepare to confront those who are dissatisfied, or you attack what is making them to be unsatisfied? What do you do as a government, especially an experienced government that is supposed to be different from all the other governments in the country, especially from a government that came with a mandate to rescue the country? What do? Do you prepare men to go and put up defense against, not against Guineans, not against Ivorians, but against Liberians? Do you take your state security people to show, they call it what? Show of force. Do you do show of force to your own citizens? America and other countries where the military sometimes do military drill, the firefighters will go up, the jet bomber, the American, how they can call it, B-52, all the different American, fighter jets will be on display, passing around. The Chinese can do it too. They do that to deter other countries so that they don't tamper with, or they don't even dream about going to attack the U.S. In Liberia, our governments would normally come up and present the state security people in the streets to do what? To intimidate Liberians who have this enchantment over issues relative to how the government is proceeding. No, it's never the solution. And that's why we came today, to speak to the conscience of this government. If there is one person who is still listening to critical pieces of advice in this country, especially in this government, if there is one person listening, we have come so that one person will listen to us. Perhaps he or she will go back to the inner chamber of Mr. Bwaka, the honorable president of our country, and tell him that, hey, sir, we are proceeding wrongly. And that's why we came to work today. Nothing more. That's why we came to work today. So we played the audio. Alexa, we played the audio. And every sort of what I'm talking about, then we move on. I mean, that's the premise. I mean, that's the prelude to what we're coming to talk about on today. I'm saying it because, Alexa, what we saw yesterday between you and I don't think it was necessary. I don't think it was something called for. But again, we'll talk more on it during the course of the show.
Okay, so yesterday I mentioned that over the weekend we saw a lot of police pickups, right? And for me, when I saw those pickups, I was like, wow, what's happening? On the first thought, I thought, there were maybe some things happening somewhere, so of course it needed police presence and stuff like that. But based on what was displayed yesterday, I think that was some form of intimidation, like 100%. So I don't know where we are now in Liberia, because if you want to display maybe military strength, or you want to display that you have what it takes to tame citizens who are disenchanted, I don't think that's the best way to show your strength. The best way to show your strength is basically to do what you're supposed to do, to make sure citizens are really satisfied and citizens understand exactly what's happening, and what are the different recommendations and ways you've planned to solve some of the different problems that are happening in Liberia. But what we saw yesterday, I mean, a lot of people are talking, especially ordinary citizens. A lot of them are talking. Some of them are really confused about what was the rationale behind the display yesterday. A lot of people are still confused with that. So I think this is not necessary. No. If you want to show, I don't want to sound comical, right? But it's more like you're going to a friendly march, maybe football march with maybe neighboring country, or you're going against maybe another team to play a friendly match. So at the end of the day, you want to show that, hey, we're strong enough, we're able to do this, we're able to defeat you, right? So if our joint security, if they are preparing for a friendly match against other neighboring countries we have, that I think you should go to the different borders we have in Liberia and display that, right? And that's to be comical. It is to say, do not display that to Liberians, because we are Liberians to some extent. Some people are knowledgeable of the strength we have when it comes to military strength and all that. People understand maybe the number of people we have in the armed forces of Liberia, or the police force, and different just joint security, if we're going to say it like that. So it is not really necessary. And when citizens are really bent on making a government that doesn't listens to them, 100% at the end of the day, Oliver, nothing you would do to get them to forget about the plans they have. No, nothing you would do.
Good.
So citizens are saying, hey, we have this problem, or we have these issues in country.
Solve the problem.
And we want the government to solve the problem. We want the government of the day to listen to us. We have tried maybe for the past 2 or 3 occasions, and the government is yet to listen to us. So if the government doesn't listen to us, this is what we're going to do. Maybe we're going to protest peacefully. Maybe we're going to express ourselves via a press conference, or maybe we're going to do this. This is their constitutional right to express themselves, whether it's going to be to assemble peacefully or not. It is on them, and the Constitution definitely gives that right to citizens of this country.
That's correct.
So what was done yesterday, I guess we're going to go deep into that later on. But just from the initial part, I don't think that was called for. I don't think that's something that should be happening. And think about people who are coming to Liberia. Think about now the social media is in a way where wherever you are, you know what's going on in a particular country or different countries around the world, 100%. So imagine just that being played on the social media, different platforms, and then people who are out of Liberia, whether Liberians or foreigners, or just different people who are not Liberians. Imagine if they're just going to watch that. They're just going to listen. They're just going to see images. And if they had plans to come to Liberia before, what exactly that's going to send to them? What message that's going to send to them, right? Just imagine that. So I think in as much as people want to prove a point, or people want to flex strength, and people want to show that, hey, we are controlling the country and we have the power to intimidate citizens. We have the power to stop citizens from expressing themselves, even though the government is not doing what they expect in some aspects. We still have the influence to do so. You should be able to think. So common sense is very important in this regard. It is very important, because you may have everything you think you have. You may have education, you may have some sort of sophistication, you may have experience, in your own words, but do you have common sense? Because sometimes, Oliver, there are different things you want to do, but then your common sense will tell you, no, do not do this, and then you will start to think about just different factors that are involved.
Okay.
Right? So I think just on the start, this is not really a good thing,
So
and it is going to send the wrong message to different people in different places. And people who want to come to Liberia will be like, hey, it seems like Liberia is not stable at about this time. Because Oliver, anywhere you see huge, police presence or security presence, you think differently. Like maybe, you have chaos. Maybe instability is the order of the day. Or maybe, that they have some plans to do this or do that. People start to think differently based on some of the different cases we have seen in different countries around the world. You wouldn't just have a country that's really stable to have police officers or security people all around with guns. No, it is not really okay.
okay, so this is what happened on yesterday. We want to talk about it briefly. Then we talk about some other issues. I'm told the president of the University of Liberia has promised to expel most of the students who were seen on campus allegedly with cutlasses, not cutlasses, knives, and other foreign materials. I want to see how that is going to play out. But let's play this. This is what happened yesterday, and I want you to listen. Oh, okay. Okay. So basically, I mean that's enough because the only thing you keep hearing is the syringe and so forth. We are hoping that we'll transition to traditional TV where you'll be able to watch us from your homes. Yeah, just in case the country is at that level where everybody will have stable electricity and start to watch us live on your televisions. We already had a lot of conversation on it. But let me just say this in the next few minutes, then we can go to the lines, and be done. The reason why the government went out yesterday to display her show of force is because opposition community members have started to have meetings. Like the CPP did under former President George Weah. We are now witnessing the CDC, ANC, ALP, CMC, Movie, and NPP, because Madam Joa Howard Taylor is political leader of the NPP. Until that NPP thing can be settled, she still has legitimacy over a portion of the party, whatever the case is. So these political institutions had a meeting last week. And from that meeting, the government of Liberia, what we have witnessed from the first meeting that was held by the opposition community, the government of Liberia started to consider too many issues in the country. At first, the government was never concerned about how Liberians were feeling. Because you know why? The CDC was operating as a political party on her own. CMC doing her own thing. I mean, all the opposition political parties were scattered in their approach towards confronting government. When CDC ready to issue the statement, when CMC ready to issue the statement, Now, from the moment the opposition community started having collaborative conversations, especially at the first meeting that was held at the ANC headquarters, and by the way, while we're on the show right now, there is another meeting being held at the ANC headquarters, again by the opposition community. Since that particular moment, the government of Liberia, especially the joint security guys, have been going from one meeting to the other. Why are the opposition community members meeting? Alexa and fellow Liberians, why are they meeting? The first meeting they held, which was televised live on, Facebook, all of these political parties complained about the form and manner in which the government of Liberia under His Excellency Joseph Yuma Boaka is disregarding the Supreme Court of Liberia, i.e. the Liberian Constitution and other laws, including tenure positions in the country. They all agree on one thing, and that is the government of President Joseph Boaka is violating the laws of the country, disregarding tenure positions, refusing to honor Supreme Court mandate. Not one, two, but this is the third time in succession. One account was the issue that had to do with a Supreme Court's decision, stopping the government from removing tenure position holders illegally. In the wake of that ruling, the Liberian chief executive, the president, went ahead and removed people from their jobs. Those are things that citizens are concerned about, especially those individuals from those political parties. Their concern is that the Supreme Court had already issued a ruling. In their ruling, they recognize one legitimate speaker of the Republic of Liberia in Jonathan Fonati Kofa. That particular ruling was received by the Liberian president, and instead of the executive branch of government that is statutorily responsible in accordance with our constitution to implement laws, because whenever the Supreme Court rules, that ruling becomes law. So the statutory institution responsible, branch of government responsible, is the executive. Now, these political parties are saying if the executive will look at the Supreme Court ruling that was unambiguously clear, and go ahead to say they will still work with a quorum that is illegitimate, in the minds and the wisdom of those from those 4 or 5 different political parties, in their opinion, it is unacceptable, and it is a sign of a country running into dictatorial tendency. And as such, they thought not to have themselves sitting down with their hands between their legs in cowardice and watch the country slip into dictatorship. When the laws are being boldly violated, when the laws are being disregarded, when the organic code of our country, the Constitution, when the Constitution, the Supreme Court is being disrespected in broad daylight, in the midst of a clear court ruling, there is a signal of a country heading downstream. In the wisdom of D. Maswa Sakimiya, the political leader of MOVE, in the wisdom of Musa Belete, the political leader of CMC, in the wisdom of Mr. Alexander Benedict Cummings, the political leader of the ANC, in the wisdom of Chief Dr. Joy Howard Taylor, the political leader of NPP, and in the wisdom of former President George Weah of the CDC, they felt that to continue to sit and watch the Constitution being brutalized by those who took an oath to protect the Constitution was totally a disservice to this country. And so in an effort to safeguard the Constitution, they thought to remind the government that enough is enough. That particular thing, Alexa, was seen as the government as a threat to their continuation of disregarding the laws. What did we see? Day before yesterday, we saw the Unity Party and her alliance calling their own partisans to also respond. The opposition parties are saying, if you do not live in accordance with the Supreme Court of Liberia's ruling and all other constitutional order, We will protest. We will protest. We will protest. We will protest until you do the right thing. That's what the opposition said. Now, a responsible government that we all anticipate to have in this country, a government that we think we already have in this country, from a responsible perspective, what we thought they would have done was to reach out and say, look, what are the issues, gentlemen? We are all countrymen. What are your issues? What do you say we are doing that we are not supposed to do? Let's reason together. Instead of doing it, they went and called their own alliance of political parties, including ACOP, and the ACOP man went there and said, if you're threatening chaos, my party ACOP is noted for chaos. We got Unimo K, we got Unimo J, and we got Lair Rebel. This is what the government, sponsored political party had to say in regards to Liberians who are disenchanted over the way things are proceeding. And so when the political parties too thought to say we will hold our ground, the opposition party said we will hold our ground. We will not succumb to anything that tends to derail the peace of our country and erase constitutional order in the country. We will stand firm, we will stand resolute. We will confront the government hands down politically so that they understand that regardless of you being in power as the government of the day, you do not have the right to circumvent the Constitution. You do not have the right to throw the Constitution under your sleeves, because the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia is not your personal land deed. That you can wake up one morning, you say, let's keep it in the delicate basket. You wake up the other day, you say, let's put it over the food cover. It is the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia for all Liberians. In the midst of it all, what did we see our government do, Alexa, yesterday? They brought security people, OSA, to be passing around, showing guns, showing this, showing that. No, you are not solving the problem. You know what you are doing yesterday? You are showing the Lebanese, the Chinese, the Indians, who are doing low business in our country, Alexa. Most of them they're building material stores, and they building construction, stores and stuff, hospitality institutions, all the hotels in the country. Most of them, that Indian Lebanese people, then running it, casinos, big businesses. What you were doing yesterday, you were telling them that, hey, business people, get prepared. We might soon for it. Hey, when footballers go to the stadium and they start jogging around, what does that mean?
They're warming up.
It means they are warming up for the game.
Yeah.
Hello, are you getting it? We are warming up for the game. When you put police people in the street to start parading and holding guns about to start shooting, you are telling the citizens, you are telling the investors that, hey, ain't see the thing we're doing? We will still start doing the real one. You are not helping the image of the country. When we say these things, you say we don't love this government. No, we love the government. When you do it right, we'll talk about it. The intro of the show, what did I say?
You talk about LDC.
I say LDC is becoming stable. Kudos to Mr. Sharif, who is the head of the LDC. We are not going to be blind on this radio to ignore progress when we see one. But what we will not do is to support evil when we see one. What you are doing to the country is detrimental to even your survivability as a government that want to succeed. Because you are sending wrong images outside to our partners, to our friends. You think you are doing well for this country? You think you're helping the country? You think what you're doing is good for the country? You know the images you are sending? Lebanese are watching you. The guys are watching you. You're displaying. You're passing around Broad Street all over. You're showing guns. You're showing strength. You're showing men. It's a terrible signal. It is. It is a terrible signal you are sending out. And the next thing you start thinking, why are investors not coming to the country? When the government is supposed to be using wisdom to solve the problems in the country, but you want to use force. The country parable says the way you can knock the hammer on the nail, and the force you can use to put the nail in the wood to take the nail out, that's not the same force you can use. When the opposition community come to you and say we will protest until we bring you to your knee, you are the government. You are the one living in the glass house. You are the one with the house full of glasses all on it. You are the one who stand the best. You stand the risk of being the victim in anything. If anything happens in the country, God forbid, we do not want it. There will be disruption of constitutional order. Most likely, we might run into interim arrangement. Will you still be in power? No. Brand new people will come to power. It's possible when you go to election, they will not want to vote for you because they will think you are a government, that can disregard the rule of law. You are a government that is not mature enough in maintaining the peace, in safeguarding the peace of the country. If there could be any election after that interim arrangement, you may not even be the victor in that process. And that's what we're saying. At this moment, those of you in government, you should stop forming anything that could derail the peace of the country. When opposition folks are expressing themselves, regardless of how jobless they are, regardless of how powerless they are, one thing you should remember is that they are Liberians and they are stakeholders of the constitutional democracy that we enjoy today. So don't be a government that will disregard people's concerns. A leader who doesn't listen to people who he or she is presiding over, that leader is doomed for failure. He's doomed for self-destruction. I'm not too sure President Bwaka is willing to be a leader who will lead himself into self-destruction. If so, then that's the path he's treading. But in the spirit of wanting this country to be prosperous, in the spirit of wanting this country to be a united country, a country that will make progress, we are asking Mr. Bwaka, the honorable president of our country, Vice President Kuhn, and the rest of the people to see reason in seeing Liberia as a unit and not a fraction of a whole. When you start to think that everybody should subscribe to the Unity Party, when everybody is supposed to suck the breast of the Unity Party people to survive, when that becomes the basic requirement for existing in Liberia, as a Liberian, then you have a problem. Then you are not leading the country as a whole. Then it suggests that you're running a fragmented republic. You don't want to do that to the country. You don't want to try that to your republic. When we elected President Bwaka and we talking to Capitol Hill on that fateful 22nd day of January 2024, he swore an oath to uphold, protect, defend the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia and not the Constitution of the Unity Party. Somebody has got to go to rehab and say that to President Bwaka. Somebody has got to go to the executive mansion and say that to him. That when you took the oath of office on 22nd January 2024, you did not pledge allegiance to uphold, defend the Constitution of the Unity Party. Rather, you did that to the Republic of Liberia. The CDC is a part of Liberia. The ANC and all her partisans are members of this country. The CMC and all of her partisans are citizens with entitlement to this country. So when you take political decisions, you should consider them because they are also part of this country. If not so, if Unity Party wins, it means all the other party people will lead the country. After 6 years, they come back. But that's not it. When you win, you are president for the rest of the country. And that is what we want you to do. Stop it. When people win election, they only win election and they become government to rule for a particular period. When you win election, you are not God for the rest of the people. You are not God. You don't determine when people survive. Oh, yes, of course, your policies and prescription, your governmental policies will shift the economic, stuff in the country. It will also guide the social stuff in the country. But I mean, literally, when you're president, you don't determine when a person can die. I mean, from natural perspective. So that tomorrow, when I use gun, when I use this and that, but they grew up with that. The way God can decide and say, you today you dying. You do not have that power. You are not omnipotent. You just have earthly power. Very restricted power. In 6 years' time, that power is over. If the people ain't vote for you, you are doomed. And not Ellen down there. 12 years she spent there, she moved from there. Ellen not president again. Nobody can see her. The security in the way used to be around Ellen. She ain't getting again anymore. Like just few. And president, we have all the security in the country today. Like just few in God. President Bwaka, what you spend 15 years, 150 years, there'll be a day where you will not have more than 5 gunmen around you. It shows that whatever you have today is temporary. And that's why we keep asking the Republic to remain on the path of unity and progress. It was unnecessary yesterday to pass around to say you're showing force. What force are you showing? The article you threatening? Article won't for you? No. That Guinea you won't for? You are not fighting any of our neighbors. We are in peace with our neighbors. So who you showing force? Your citizens, the citizens you took out to protect and defend, they are the ones you are showing force. In the night, some communities can be complaining about armed robbers. You don't show armed robbers your force. They're jacking people's handbag and phone all over the place. You're not showing them your force. You passing around showing force. That in the day they can show force. Huh? In the day they can show force. But which conflict ever started from the capital city in Africa before? Which conflict now start from capital city? Hey, you want to show for that moral? You show force in? It was not necessary, especially from a government that people say got experience, mature. Let's say mature government. That's what do that. The government where mature should do things maturely. If the government mature, the government should do her things from a responsible perspective. What I think you're doing, sorry to say, but you were behaving childish. All we saw yesterday was childishness. It's been childish. Regardless of whatever. You can threaten the population of this country. Those political parties that came together, put their numbers together, Alexa. Go to NEC and put their numbers together. CDC alone have over 400,000 citizens. Assuming out of the 400,000 citizens, Alexa, out of the 400,000, 300,000 say, we now want to disrupt the country. Can the police and the entire John security contain 100,000 disgruntled people? That won't the CDC. So let's look at the other party, then the small people. Then let's assume 80% of the other party people say, although we went to vote, but we now want to disrupt the country. You can't contain you can't contain up to 200,000 citizens who will decide to be disgruntled. You're not able. No government can do it because the first thing you do, that genocide you're talking about, and that genocide only happened in the first 30 minutes. The second 30 minutes, people will regroup, and when they regroup, they're coming back. That different thing will happen. So nothing should fool you for whatever reason and think you will. No intimidation. That thing that the time pass. We are a decent country. We are a country that has made serious airwaves in terms of political transition. Oh yes, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf talking for 12 years. She peacefully transitioned to President Weah. President Weah talking for 6 years. He peacefully transitioned to President Bouaka. It should not spoil under President Bouaka, my people. It should not spoil under him. It should not spoil. You guys who have government officials today, ministers and deputy ministers, directors and deputy directors, the last 6 years under George Weah, bulk of you were members of the Council of Patriots. You were organizing protests in this town. You were the ones protesting. You were the ones marching and insulting police people in this country. You are the ones in the streets of Monrovia insulting the sitting president without thinking that he occupies a position that is sacred. We'll play your voices in the coming weeks. All of you in power who used to be cursing when George Weah was in power. Those of you who today you say you hate protests, we'll play your voices when you used to be protesting. You did that all alone. You know why you are still living today and you minister? You know why in the midst of all of the things you did, you still had a chance to live, you moved around, you went to election, you won, and you became ministers. Today you're enjoying, you're having orgy all over the place, you're doing all the things. You know why you're doing it? It's because a government was in power that respected your rights. That recognize the fact that you are a Liberian and you have the right to protest, to express yourself. That's why you're still alive today, enjoying yourself. You think George Weah didn't know about using governmental brutal force to dislodge June 7 protesters? He would have done that in a trickle of an eye. Regardless of whatever the protesters would have done, as their reprisal or comeback, but he would have done what he had to do as a government. And if it's spoiled, it was going to spoil. But he said, no, these are Liberians. So Patrick Suru, don't use bullets, don't use tear gas, use food and water. When the few of them who are Muslims praying, go and put a shield around them, draw a cycle, stand around them, be there, let them pray. After finishing praying, they wake up, they fold their mat, they go by the protest. That's the Liberia I'm president for. That's how government solve problem. That's how government ease tension. Look, those protesters on June 7, when the protest was over, they peacefully walk home and they were like, hey, the Joey Mimpa. he reallocate because the thing will come into here when they're going to fire us. They themselves who went with the mindset of doing bad thing, they started walking home, acknowledging how we was tolerant. In this country, you need political tolerance. You won the election with less than 17,000 votes difference. You need political tolerance to proceed. If you don't apply political tolerance, you will plunge this country into chaos. And that's what we are asking the government to be very, very straightforward, very, very, very concerned. You should be cautious in how you proceed. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who taught you guys how to win election. Ellen, who revived the Unity Party and gave it legitimacy. When she was in power, at a certain point in time, she felt it would have benefited her a lot if she became brutal. At the end of the day, what did she do? She had to go begging George Weah. My son, I beg you. You command a good portion of this country. If you are angry in this country, if your partisans are angry in this country, my country will know no peace. My government will struggle. I will find it difficult to maintain stability in this country. So please, I'm not denigrating you. I'm not reducing you to nothing. I'm not trying to disrespect you. But please, I beg you, help me and preside over unity in this country. Come and become a peace ambassador. Nobody's saying President Baka will go give Joe Weah peace ambassador job because he has already served as president. He can serve nothing else in the country. Nothing else he can serve besides the same president. So nobody's saying he will go do it, but you should run your policy in a way that it will not create division. And that's what the opposition community is asking you to do. Respect the laws. Respect the laws of the country. Don't disregard constitutional ordinance. Don't circumvent the law because of your personal interest to make Rachel Kuhn speaker. That's why the whole constitution must die. They see Rachel Kuhn men deprive country men from contesting in District 11. It was a Supreme Court. It was a Supreme Court of Liberia that ruled and said, countrymen, your house that you're living in is not in District 11 and you cannot be in District 11 because the law says you must be domiciled 1 year prior to election, Article 30 of the Liberian Constitution. And so because of that, you cannot be a candidate in District 11. Where AKA countryman was deprived of contesting. Rachel Kuhn became the victor in that election. They say Rachel Kuhn is alive. The Supreme Court is ruling against him. It reached his time, and he said he cannot uphold the law. And President Baka aiding and abetting him. When the opposition committee get vexed and say you should not circumvent the laws of our country for one man, and you put people in the street and say you're doing show of force, is that how you solve problems? But I'm not going to say more, because I'll leave the rest with Alexa, and after which we'll go to the lines and talk to our people. But as I step down, let it be known and let it be very clear to you, our government in power, that those who often lead countries around the world, and choose peace, negotiation, tolerance, inclusive governance as the tool for their regime. Those who normally go through those routes, they are not cowards. They are not lazy. Sorry to say, they are not foolish. But they do those things because they want their countries that they preside over to be in peace and not in pieces. Don't think to do the right thing is exhibiting weakness, because you will never be right all of the time. And so if there are people who are telling you if you allow Kofa to become speaker for a day, it will show that the government is weak, they are the ones creating the problem in the country, because nobody is bigger than the law. So you may choose to ignore the Constitution. It is upon the shoulders of this government and her democratic credential. But what would be appropriate is for this administration to tread cautiously. The country for you presiding over it is not your personal property. You will leave it. Some of you should think about what will happen after these 6 years. What will happen at the end of 2029 when elections are done? And in the event where your government is not re-elected, think about what will become of your personal lives. If you have answer to it, then you can continue doing whatever you want to do. But in the spirit of oneness and progress, The best thing I think you can do for this country is to do what the law say and run this country in peace, Alexa, and not in pieces.
Oh well. Oh well. Oliver spoke I would like to say passionately, because this is about Liberia and this is about Liberians. So it is our duty and it is our responsibility as people who have vowed to work not in the interest of selfish people, but in the interest of Liberians and in the interest of Liberia. It is upon us to always sound the way we sound, especially when it comes to referencing and when it comes to reminding people who are governing Liberia today. 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, the people we have as government officials, from the president to vice president to, ministers, directors, and just different people we have today, steering the affairs of this great nation, Liberia. They had their own things to say before. And if you can remember, a lot of them were part of the Council of Patriots. And when the Council of Patriots organized a protest in this country, that was one of the events that actually shook Liberia, whether you like it or not, it did. And a lot of people in Liberia, Liberians in fact, sometimes they are called the masses, joined. These same people endorsed the protest. A lot of them, because according to them, Liberia was not proceeding in the right direction. According to them, the country was being governed not in a responsible way. According to them, the president we had, George Weah, was not intentional about running Liberia. In fact, he was wicked to Liberians. He did not mean well for the country. So they had their own things to say. So people who made those statements, one would think that when they are given the opportunity to govern, they will act responsibly based on what they say, based on their claims that the country was not being governed in the right way. Now that they are in power, now that Liberians saw the need to have them elected, especially the president, because based on the president's election, that's one of the reasons we have a lot of different people who are ministers, directors, because he appointed them. Liberians trusted and believed in their words. Hence, today we have Unity Party government. We have Joseph Boaka as the rescue number one, and we have different people who are rescue whatsoever. Now that we have this government and we have Liberians again in Liberia, out of Liberia, it is crucial for you to govern this country in a manner that will reflect that you are repairing, according to you, a broken dignity. Because you said Liberia's international image was ruined. You said in the international or on the international scene, Liberia was not a country well respected because the country's image was not projected in a positive light. Today, we have you here as President, Mr. Joseph Yuban Boakai. You are to present a positive image of Liberia out there. The fact that you have Liberians coming together. I remember we had when this whole thing started, Oliver said, it is not always, because I remember we had one of our editions, and Oliver called our political parties, opposition political parties, to be very strong, to be courageous. And he asked as to whether they were asleep, if they've lost their strength, if they've lost their identity. We had that show right here. And after that, we also called on citizens that it is not always about the labeled game where you have a political party that is labeled. For example, the CDC, you have the ANC, you have Liberty Party, you have CMC now. You have different political parties. They're in opposition. We said it is not always a labeled game. But when citizens get together and when citizens realize that it is about them, when it comes to how the state is being governed, it is important for the leader to listen. Because when citizens get together, they're together because they have shared values. They're together because they have shared strength. They're together because they have decided that we are tired, we are fed up, and the government has to listen. If the government doesn't want to listen, the government will be made to listen. Is that where we are? Of course, that's where we are now. At first, you saw different political parties, do their thing individually. CDC had to host many press conferences. They usually do so. You had different political parties, addressing the public. They have press releases all around. The fact that you have different opposition political parties coming together at about this time, it tells you how fed up Liberians are. And it tells you how people are ready to defend the Constitution of Liberia. So yesterday, what was displayed, if that was something to intimidate Liberians, if that was something to scare Liberians, I don't know if you are going to succeed, but for a responsible government or for quote unquote responsible government, that should not be the image projected by you, by your government. If you had given instructions to the joint security to have done exactly what they did yesterday to parade, this is not the image you are supposed to be working on to project to Liberians, number one, and two, different international communities out there. No. Yesterday I said, nothing is strange in this world. Everything that's happening right now has happened before. Everything that's happening right now has happened before. And there are people who were involved, and you should know the story. History continues to remind us of exactly what happened before. And if you're going to use the same path, you know what will be your end. You know what will be your end. So is it today that you're afraid of, different opposition political parties getting together to demand that the Constitution be respected? Is it today that you are saying protest should not be promoted or protest should not be planned by different collaborating political parties coming together to say this is our country, and of course we have to make sure our country's image, especially when it comes to the legal part of our country, is well protected? If that was one of the reasons you had the joint security to parade yesterday, I think you should desist from it. I think you should start to think over. You should think that over. Because you are not to display your strength to your own people. Your own people put you there. You are supposed to protect them. You are supposed to create an environment that feels safe for them. They are supposed to feel safe in their own country. They are supposed to feel protected in their own country. But when the Constitution is being disregarded, emotionally, psychologically, Liberians will feel unsafe. And now you are showing the physical part of it. So is it your plan to torture Liberians from all angles? Physically, emotionally, psychologically? Is that exactly what you want to do? There are times where people are very, very clear about their actions. And whatever you do, they don't care about that. Because if they are bent on telling you, hey, Mr. President, do what you promised. Hey, Mr. President, respect the Constitution, because that's one of the reasons you are president of the Republic of Liberia. If you are not empathetic, you should have common sense. If you don't have common sense, you should be empathetic. You should be able to understand exactly what's happening in your country. Mr. President, if you do not follow daily news, if you do not listen to different radio programs to listen to Liberians express themselves, all of our stuff, express themselves. You should know that you are missing out. For me, I'm not one of the people who would like to say the president is not aware of what's happening. No, it is not supposed to be that way.
He's aware. He knows.
Exactly.
He
So I'm not
knows
one of those people.
all of what's
So
happening. He's
whatever
aware.
that's happening, Liberia is not a state that is supposed to be a crazy state. Liberia is not a state that is supposed to be a confused state. Liberia is not a state that should be a state that presents an image of instability. You have different business people in this country. You have the Indians, you have the Lebanese, you have Chinese. Most of the big businesses we have in Liberia, they are not owned by Liberians. They are owned by foreign nationals. So what was done yesterday, if that is your way of showing that we are the government of the day, we're not arguing that. You're president. This is not a Rachel Kuhn and Jay Funati Kofa kind of argument. I'm speaker, I'm not speaker. No, you're president. Everybody knows it. So we're not arguing that. The fact that you're president, I think you should do what a president does. You should follow exactly what a president follows. Mr. President, everybody in the country know how many men we have in the men and women, in fact, we have in the armed forces of Liberia. How many men and women we have in the police force. There are people who are knowledgeable about the number of people we have in the joint security. So you are not supposed to flex your strength to Liberians. No, that should not be done to us. You're not playing friendly match against Guinea. You're not playing friendly match against Africans or Sierra Leone. No, that's not what we're doing here. That's not what we're doing here. If we're on a friendly match, or if you're going against someone in a war, we'll say, yeah, maybe you're trying to show your enemy or your opponent that you're strong enough. They should not try it. Liberians are not your enemies. Liberians are not your opponents. Liberians are not people you're going against. You're not to be combative. No, you're not to show us you have guns. If you do not know, Mr. President, we are at war in this country now with guns. Psychological war is being fought. Economic war is being fought. But now we're focused on the legal war being fought. When the Constitution is not regarded as the Constitution. Do you think that's not a war? It is. The war started a few months ago, and it is still ongoing. So are you going to use guns to intimidate Liberians to just sit back and forget about protecting the Constitution? No. Liberians are together, and this is a moment for Liberians to be together. So if you do not understand that part, or if your advisors are telling Mr. President, forget about it, Liberians will be scared. They're going to hide in their different corners. They're not going to come out.
Let's put the police man also.
That's a lie.
Let the immigration man go. Immigration men can be begging Jalo for bread so they can gain residency permit. No, but I see why about it. Listen, no, Alexa, I'm not joking. Immigration men can be begging the Jalo in the community for bread and tea. Just to extend the residency permit. Then you can't see that the men be on the road to be intimidating people.
Liberians may be gullible at a point.
I mean, I got some immigration friends though. Look, I come in. I don't want to put myself in trouble too much. I got some immigration friends.
And they told you.
I respect them. Okay. Some of them are decent people. But back of the immigration men are in the community. Well, you see one food man somewhere saying tea, bread, spaghetti in the net. As soon as men leave from the immigration office and go there in the net, go to Jalo. I'm being honest. As a full boy in the country, the Jalo then suffering a lot in the immigration men. The tea, bread, spaghetti, immigration people, then you come in, put it in the street to show folks. I mean, it's needless. Continue, my dear. Don't laugh. I'm being honest. You can bring the tea and bread, spaghetti people to intimidate people. It doesn't work that way. You know, I mean, it doesn't work that way. Face the problem in the country. Stop all of the division. Stop all of the abuse of the Constitution. It will be okay. Go ahead. Yeah, man. Because I mean, the thing is, see the point. You see the point.
This is really serious.
See the point. You bring it us out to intimidate Liberians.
It may sound funny, but it is serious.
Tea and bread, immigration people are going to be begging for tea and bread to give people residency permit.
And Mr. President, Liberians may be gullible at a point in time, but Liberians are not fools. Liberians are not stupid. No, they're not. Liberians are resilient, very resilient. And when it comes to working together for a cause, They do that effortlessly. So whatever you're planning, I see on the social media some of the government officials who are supposed to be responsible. I don't blame the fact that they're not responsible, because that was just a whole literature to show that, yeah, we're this, we're that. But if you're going to go back to reality, you know who they are and you know what to do and how to do what to do. If you go to social media with this crucial issue at this critical point in time in Liberia, and you see people are using this as a comedy, they're saying, oh, let it count us, let it do this, let it do that. Remember, 2 or 3 years ago, a lot of you were seeing in different protests, whether it was against sexual violence, whether it was against this or against that. A lot of you were part of the George Weah Step Down campaign, the George Weah Step Down protest. A lot of you, June 7, I don't know if it is infamous or famous, but whatever word you want to describe it, that's fine. June 7, a lot of you were there. Did you see exactly what happened? Did you see exactly how the president of the republic at the time, George Weah, did you see how that was handled? Did you see that? So now that you have Joseph Boakai as Liberia's president with years of experience, a person who is said to understand governance to one of the highest levels, a person who has this level of sophistication when it comes to his leadership abilities. He is to display. We're tired with, just the basic read-ups about, oh, the president is experienced. No, we've listened to that a lot. He should display that. That should be depicted in his actions. So if what was done yesterday is one of his strengths, or one of the things that he would say, I am a leader, Mr. President, that was not okay. And if your people are telling you should do that to intimidate Liberians, because Liberians are easily scared away, Liberians are easily intimidated. So if you're going to put armed men out, they're going to sit back and they're not going to do anything. That person is fooling you, Mr. President. Of course, maybe the instruction would be beat them, hurt them. That would not be strange because it has happened before. When citizens went up Capitol again to petition their own lawmakers, we saw exactly what happened. So would that be strange? It wouldn't be a surprise. But for a country that needs investments, for a country that needs people to invest, you talk about tourism in your arrest agenda. You have tourism. We've always, highlighted the another arrow that's talking about the respecting the rule of law or rule of law. We've talked about that a lot. Now let's talk about your tourism. You've talked about that a lot. So now what's happening? Where you have, joint security just parading with guns. What do you expect from tourists who want to come to Liberia to see different beautiful places in Liberia? If they're going to see on the different news on the social media and they see exactly what's happening in Liberia, do you know what message that is going to send to them? Are we actually thinking, or are we not? Or the time to prove a point has passed. We're no longer there. We're 1 year, some months in your administration. We're not still supposed to be talking about we have this, we have that. No, we're done with that. Mr. President, you have different opposition political parties coming together. They've had different meetings. It tells you how these people are ready, how Liberians are ready, because people have talked, people have expressed their views, people have expressed themselves. And the fact that you are yet to listen, it means you're not going to listen to them. Mm-hmm. It started with 10 new positions way back. That was another thing. But now the Constitution again. This is not okay. The people who voted you, people who supported you, they did because they thought, you were the best of all the candidates we had. And now you're here. So are you going to continue to intimidate them? if that's the path you're on, history is always here. We always have references. We always have people whose names are mentioned when we're discussing disregard for the rule of law. You know where they are. Some of them are no more on earth. Some of them, have died. Some of them, the story. You've been around for more than 70 plus years. So you know the story, especially in Liberia. So, Mr. President, what you were flexing yesterday, or what your people were flexing yesterday based on instructions given them, I'm sure that should not happen. That we don't want to citizen. You're not tell us say we strong, we get plenty of gun. No, that should not be done with us. No. You see what's happening in Liberia. Oliver said something, and just last night, another story is on the social media of two young girls who were, almost kidnapped again.
Mm-hmm.
And it was by God's grace that they're okay. If you just see them, if you see the images, they're hurt badly. You should have your joint security to be in different communities protecting the lives of people. You still have armed robbery in Liberia. Of course you do. Different communities are still suffering from that. At night, people are afraid to go out because they don't feel safe. So are you not supposed to flex your strength to fight against people who want to hurt Liberians, to fight against armed robbers and all that thieves in Liberia? You should do that. They are the ones you should flex your strength on. You should show them like, hey, we're joint security, or we're police officers, or we're here to protect people's lives and properties. So you're not going to hurt Liberians. That's what we want to see. And that would be another good news to break on this platform. Like we talked about LEC earlier, Oliver mentioned that. That would be great news to break on this platform. But you were passing, just showing to like when people say we'll get it, well, no. You may not speak the words, but based on your actions, people know exactly what you're trying to present to them. So please use that energy to fight people in different communities. Please do so.
Okay.
Y'all go do friendly marshal and robot. It may sound funny, but yeah. That should be done to protect people's lives and properties in Liberia. Because that is one of the things that you're supposed to do. So do not do that with us. We're going to see you, yeah. We'll see the gun in, yeah. But we'll stop people from expressing their dissatisfactions. No. We'll stop people from exercising their constitutional rights. No, it is not going to stop it, no matter how hard you try. So please do what you ought to do based on the fact that you were elected to do so. All of you are employed by Liberians. You're paid by Liberians. They may be referred to as the masses or ordinary people. They're not ordinary people because the Constitution gives them the power, the ultimate power. And that will be shown again. You will go back to them again. You have how many more years to go? We're going a year, a few months. You have a few more years to go and a few months to go. You'll get back to the same people you're trying to flex on. You get back to the same people you're trying to prove a point. You're trying to cruise on, as people would say. So we're still here watching. And when the people get up, they get up. When the people stand up, they stand up. When the people work together, they work together. And that's what we are witnessing now. Citizens are coming together. And there's nothing you will do to make them stop.
Okay, we leave you right there. Let's take our break. When we come back, we go to the lines and take multiple calls on today's edition.
Crime Stopper Liberia is here for you. Remember, you see it, you report it. This is a message from your own self, Omen Samsaya.
Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper.
Okay, Crime Stoppers, the people bringing safety to your doors. Join us on 87.9, the People's Radio. Let's go to the lines and see if we can talk to bulk of our callers, those who want to participate on the platform. 086 500 104 0776 104 104 plus 231 86 500 104 is the WhatsApp line. Plus 231 86 500 104. I repeat, is the WhatsApp line. Call us and let's have your input on the line. This first person, go ahead. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening, my brother.
Let's hear you.
Very high to say, Eliza. This is the official spokesperson of the Liberation Right Movement. Somebody say you can make a comedy. No, it's not about comedy, but it's about human psychology. That's why if you study, if you do it, you'll be more than strong. Because you know how Liberation, what is going on with people. So that's why you come to the show, you and Eliza, and try to spaz it off. For me, I started laughing because today, last Monday, I'm going to my men, we take 500 for me, take 700 for me. When you started showing all Junior, I was laughing, so okay, but everything.
I know.
So human psychology. Yeah, very good. Karen, I want to speak to your comrade, Broker, your comrade. Or you got to do the right thing because President Broker, I think you should behave this way. Because the men will power over to you, there's a popular Liberian in this country who gave the power. Because the constitution say he must give it to you. Or why don't 1%, 17 vote, and make it over to you. You got to respect the politician and the people coming outside. You can't do nothing to them. Nobody come to you with God. You got to go in that meeting. They were unfavorable, whatever. We don't want anybody will never need a corner. You see? So they are telling you to do the right thing. Then you come in outside with your police. What are you trying to prove? The day you're saying I'm your friend, no. They'll behave the right way so that you can go on better. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you very much. We leave you right there, my dear brother William W. Wulu, the spokesperson of the Liberia Civil Rights Movement. Let's leave William Wulu and go to the next line and talk to this person. What is the name? Go ahead.
Hello, Maka.
How are you, sir?
I'm all right. Thank you, my son. You, Bogasie, AB, thank you. We don't get nothing to give you. We want to be praying for you. For the call to carry you through.
Amen.
But what I want to say on this particular discussion, you know, you people are so all over and over. You see, one thing I've been trying to call for nowhere until I'm lucky to call today. If you see these people that in the parliament, some of them they were honor agents. They were 16, they were 15, 18. Most of them they were Uyghur. Most of them in our parliament, the whole gone, so they don't get no respect for law. Some of them got money from the looting, some of them got money for killing innocent people, but their faces were not shown because they were honor agents at that time. That what they are doing, they don't get regard for law. Even Waka himself, he was behind local defense force according to information that we got. So he get a same blood in him. And this is the reason they don't want to listen. If you don't respect the law and something happens to any of them, somebody maybe they assume that why you or criminal go there and criminal attack. And they will go to the law.
Yep.
They will want the law to go on their side. Why the law giving the order? This is why you are doing it not correct. They don't want to listen. So most of them are look at them to be a rebel. Their attitude show that nothing plan of them will go. So they got no regard for law. And they want to come out. This is the reason they are behaving like that.
Thank you.
Or with we will away from our own country. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Fab. We'll leave you right there. Let's talk to the other person. Go ahead. 1 minute. How you doing? Good evening, my brother.
My name is Saki, and I'm calling this hearing from opposite President Boga, President that we have community.
Why you go to way down there?
My man, I'm cherry management.
Go ahead.
Trying to move to the issue. What I want to say, you guys said it all concerning Mr. Boga. The thing is not bureau. You will not remain power forever. Take one example, see George we are today, his son Cham we are. I let boy go anywhere around in Liberia Cup. Nobody get issue with him. He live a peaceful life. But Mr. Boga, you might know that you get people representing your name, your last name to the name. Today or tomorrow you may live for his power. Let's see why you are looking here today and may follow you. Today you don't want to respect the court. The same court that you put here on when you feed them on the problem, you say the problem get you water to drink some more.
You opposite President Boga, how you talking like that?
I got men with me. Don't worry about nothing. I got men with me.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
We've been moving all the politics, so not today business. So I get to the issue. Mr. Boga, you got put name after you. Today or tomorrow you may leave power. Think about a children and think about a family member. Let me Boga today. You can respect the constitution and you can respect the law that made you president today in this country. What will happen to you tomorrow? What will happen to the name that will come after your name? So, like, bro, and you say you want to use your money power because yesterday you were selling three for 10 water. Yesterday, when the security parking the car, you call your mom, call the parking fee money. They were forced to sell $8 for her, but all which is the parking fee money. They would have gone for her. Today, now you get money spraying around. You teach your money. You the money man, you the shitty. You know, they go in the town, no problem. We'll maintain you. We'll cancel it for the now. Right the show, man, when people tell that with a phone, taking my phone in the tennis area.
We leave you right there. Daniel Saki, he said he's calling from opposite President Bwaga's house in rehab. I would never be opposite President Bwaga's house and call on radio. Yeah, this person, hello, go ahead, 1 minute. Good evening, my dear brother. How you doing? Go ahead, Tabu Raska. Let's hear you.
You know, on the issue of the speakership, position, for me, I'm not surprised as President Bwaga. Bwaga did the same thing with Bwaga in the CPP. But Bwaga in the CPP, only bad to Bwaga, allow Bwaga to be used, and Bwaga used Kumi. After Kumi is supposed to leave Bwaga, now Bwaga said, no, it can't happen. Bwaga went as far, even Kevin Kumi though. As for me, I'm not surprised, but the way I can tell Bwaga right now, this thing about Flatikova is no longer about Flatikova now because it is about the constitution and we the Liberian people. Because we don't say allow Bwaga to ride and to ride the constitution like donkey. Our constitution cannot be suspended. So the way I can say, another thing more of my time, the way I can say, we got one of the Liberian constitution like your power, okay? And the constitution says, okay, we have the right to alter and reform the government. So if the president happening, the president say we the citizens will have the right to make the president to listen. As you go on say,
Okay.
So let me tell Bwaga right now, the life of Flatikova is no longer of Flatikova because the high court in the law has rule and the law is the law and the law will be the law.
Thank you.
The court says, you are not a speaker. Flatikova, you is a legitimate speaker. As for today, we already recognize Koba as our speaker, as the speaker of the Republic of Liberia. We say, you just come representative. We say, you want election in the play. You will say Supreme Court. Supreme Court rule against Court man, High Court man, will rule out with the court. You were re-elected, and then you went in a capital building. So, if you have failed to listen to the Supreme Court ruling, we the citizens of the Republic of Liberia will compare the KOK. Because we'll get all that. I'm a member. We just waiting.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much. We'll leave you right there. Let's go to the international line and talk to this person. Go ahead. 1 minute. How you doing?
Hi, Alexa.
Go ahead.
You know, today's topic get to some of us when we saw that thing yesterday because we saw in 1990, December, they were on vacation, we came from Mission. We're in a club, we say, oh, the pocket do nothing. We know how it's like. The later riot, they had to CDC of headquarters. They were choking rock. The police, they couldn't hear what they cried, the children. Then they said they're bluffing. But I'm blaming. Because time of day, Liberian people are going to stand at the wisdom of all the mile we get. It won't be like that. How will you want to rule people like you taking iron here or you want to be our dictator? Liberian not dictator, you see more out in there reacting to people post there when they put there. They're useless people. Then when people won't talk, they will say, oh no, that was registration. But sometimes people need to put senses in the people's head. You're very, very rude. Unbecoming. The T7 did not nearly give the police uniform. Riot, they shoot bullet and tear gas on people. They arrested the speaking Creole. They see that a lot like all of them are Liberian. Evil people, UP people. Some are being very quiet, but they're going all of here now. So we got to come all of ourselves to show them I don't want to know it.
Okay.
You won't take people from Freetown and bring them and say, oh, the police. I heard it when they arrested me. Nobody's stupid around here. So the man try nonsense with Liberia. We suffer too much.
We leave you right there from Amsterdam.
Yeah, when people are ready to talk. Okay, audible, thank you.
Oh, when people are ready to talk, you finish?
No, because I don't give it to them, but you know the other side I'll come in, so you know.
Okay.
Maybe so
we leave it right there. We leave it from Amsterdam. Let's talk to the other person from Liberia. I'm sure this person. 1 minute. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Okay. That was thinking. Let's go for you and continue to let's go for you.
Amen.
Speaking from this now, focus this thing. My name is Mama G.
Okay.
But just about that means that man draw. Not too much. Then we can look at the song you name. We're pushing up on a day. The time is there, and then you're well resting today. They have become passion for everybody in Liberia. They only have seen that in Liberia. When you are seeing that a key something, one of one of the young people are doing a key. When the only much is about a woman to go after celebrity to kill them. And on the good record is starting today. And we run to come over. We want to all the Liberia and say, oh.
Okay. All right. Alexa, Liberians are appearing to be very, 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 very mobilized. Go ahead. Let's hear you. 1 minute.
Good afternoon, KOK and Alexa. This is Theo from Minneapolis.
Theo from Minneapolis, the USA. Go ahead, from the USA.
Yo, KOK, we want to take one or two things into consideration, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of those things we don't understand today. You can never take a struggling man from the dumb stuff and make him relevant, and you think that you can never have control over that man's life. It's a lie. But I never made himself president. You know, the party as a party don't even have what we call a Ghanaian vote, like the CDC or Unity Party. All Unity Party in the power, they're all there, some collaboration are burning the power. Right? Because we do the statistics in the first round of every election since 2005. You see the number of Unity Party been coming in the first round, it's been so minute to the point that because the so-called elite can join them, that's why all they coming second to CDC. But Unity Party don't have the number. And then secondly, what do you expect from a broke, poor Braga? That everybody put a hand around to make president. You think Braga, you really think Braga in some man don't want to respect the Supreme Court? You want to respect the Supreme Court. This guy who fell in when you're nobody, the guy who put clothes on Braga when Braga never had good clothes to wear, and the guy who control Braga. And then second thing today, listen to me today. Okay, I'm gonna be the next representative of District 6, 2029.
Okay.
And I'm gonna put a legislation. Very serious. Listen to me, please. It's very serious. I'm gonna act a legislature that no Liberians that born to a single Liberian parent will be qualified to run for president in that country. On a serious note, it can be racist as it wants to be. That in the US here, once you're not born on the soil of the US, you can now be a president of the United States. So I want to follow the American model, we'll kill the Liberia. Because technically speaking, I shouldn't be president of Liberia. No one knows about my empire.
We
pass
that stage.
We pass it, but we have to go back to history. We don't make that mistake again, because if we're going to be born to a Liberian parent or born in Liberia soil, at least we're going to get love for Liberia. But I don't give a damn about Liberia or Liberia go today. Because we're going to have love for Liberia just for the people who brought him to prominence, who fed him, who clothed him when you're nobody. We're going to hell with y'all. The country come first. Yeah, you got me president, but the country come first. So that law will be in active. If nobody can add that law before 2029, if I become representative 2029, trust me, it will be in active. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. We leave you right there. Let's talk to this other person on the line quickly. There should be Man CC. Go ahead, Man CC. Let's hear you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Alexa, how you doing, my brother?
I'm okay, Man CC.
Okay. A minute I call to say thank you. You getting me?
We hearing you.
We'll come to the issue of Waka. Well, let me tell my people thank you in the diaspora and you are alive. For coming to my rescue. Look, okay, I'm out of voice. Let Liberia join me to say thank you to the people in America and Liberia. What came to my rescue? What came to rescue me? Not Waka rescue. But for Liberia people to stand for me. When on the end the last time, okay, you were there on your show. And I told you I was going out of 2 things. I was doing. To respond, to come to my aid, I want to say thank you. My place, I will get it. See me well for me. They have not seen me before, okay? What am I voice for what I stand for? And for church we are love. And for what I stand for Liberia, for the country. And what they believe in me. So what they did for me, when they go out and pay them, I will not call their names here. They're hearing me when they in Liberia, when they in America, they hear what I'm saying. And they know, and people that already pledged to say something to me, I know they will do it.
The other man saying you 200, I gave it to you today. But we're not calling. We're not calling it.
Because we got witchcraft and listen to the show. You know what I'm saying? We got demon then when you want me, they want saying you can phone the person. And you can go far or you can spread. So I will not call my children on the show. They know me and they know all I'm talking about, they know all of them know that step.
Oh, yeah.
That send their hand to me. And they listening. Let God bless them. Let God, whatever they took it from, look, let God multiply it. Let God in the coming shall be blessed. God will favor them, whatever they do. Even their bosses will favor them. I want to say thank you to you also, and the platform that went on, over St. Zion, that led me a platform, here, Mrs. Zion. No, let me say thank you to them. Look, okay to the issue now.
So the issue, the police are passing around today, they said, there you, man, see, you can't outside with tea with you.
That one, Lord, get watch and see, I put it for my very self. I put it on the neck, and then they said, be me good. You know what I'm saying? I'm not afraid of that. They want to give me, okay, but we'll stand for our right. What we can do in this country, Lord, the whole world is fighting to see Baka government put people. I mean, one of you all say they want to test the water of the very people. And we'll tell them, we'll stay up to that, okay, we'll run for them. And when we kill us, they will kill us. What's one will die among them too? He can say when he can't do what we after to him. What we after him, he said, we're not here for that. We're not for that war. What you doing is wrong, and we tell you, say, they will love my home. And what means the people say today in your country? They have no best case out, blue best case out, and leave it in. If I give you that money, you're not taking it in for me. Everything I'm going in the country, but I say, well, what a mess to us. You can say anything is doing this country, in the government, but I say, well, so I will not put anybody. What you tell us, what you will do? You see, put on that, put in loud, somebody will do, put in the neck door, and say you speak on passing around. Well, I know shame on your face.
Okay.
Someone tell us, that's what they are putting by the offer.
Thank you.
And they can 10 minutes for that day. But we'll come out for them. Thank you. Then they will not home. And you think we stupid without to do it. But tell you that for everyone, we belong here, he belong here. We make him president, he can kill the people. So we're business in Boca, and we'll cut off for him. Thank you.
We leave you right there, man. Cici, let's talk to the other person. Go ahead, 1 minute.
Thank you. Karen, good evening to you.
Good evening.
And good evening to Alexa.
Hello.
Yeah, this is Hussein Kew.
Go ahead, Hussein Kew. Let's hear you.
Yeah. After a long tour of suspension, I finally resurfaced.
I forgive you ever since, you know, when you lied that every command denied now Zumbi in the country has suspended you. But I lifted your suspension now. So welcome.
Yes. So thank you. So I think it's an extra privilege given me again to reappear even with our disagreement on different national issues. So in regards to the constitutions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even Article 1 that talks about the people's power. Article 15 and 17 of the Constitution. One talk about freedom of speech, and the other one talk about freedom of assembly. Everything comes with responsibility.
Okay.
Liberian citizens got the right to petition the government if that safety so required. You got the right to freedom, speak, or it comes with responsibility. Not because the registration is open for the phone in, and then they get all the right to insult the presidency or insult our official of government. No, you can't do that.
So
you can disagree.
Who doing it?
No, I'm not saying you doing it.
Okay.
Other Liberians are doing it. So we're just urging everybody to disagree with the government. You can checkmate them, but you have to do it responsibly so that people will not look at you.
So the people say your government is violating all of the laws in the country, and they want to come outside to protest, to show to Mr. Baka that before he became president, there was a law. When he leaves the presidency, there will still be a law.
Yeah. So the president has said continuously when he met you guys, he said there will be freedom of speech, there will be freedom of thought. and no radio station will be shut.
No, not radio station. We say the political parties are saying they will come outside to protest in the street of Monrovia until President Baka can respect the law. That's what they are saying. Oh, I mean, you run away. I mean, the Ministry of Information sort of gave you more credit. Stop. I mean, why you be doing that? Jeremy Pierre, you're recharging my phone. Go ahead, sir. Let's hear you.
Good evening, KOK. My name is Sodi Tere, and I call you from Ghana's to be precise, Ghana's Junction.
Go ahead, Sodi. You're the second to the last. I mean,
KOK, thank God you lay Wusi suspension. Yeah, because Wusi Gawu, he get nothing to say. Wusi Gawu get nothing to say. He get nothing to tell the people. Because yesterday, when we were defending the Ouya-led government, they call a whole lot of names. They call Ouya Share, Wagana Share, Organa Share, Ouya Project Share. They call organ names. So we see Kawu there, they get nothing to say. To the issue, KOK. To the issue, my brother.
The man show all that gone. So I don't know how you come outside the protest.
You know, Gregor Goma joking. I can tell Gregor Goma he's joking. You can't stop the people from coming out to protest for their right. You can't stop the people. During the June 7 protest, we never stop anybody here. We are giving them water. I just want to give the people water. So then you just do the city to give out water, but you should not stop up protesting. We're not announcing a protest and they're supposed to get in the street. They should not be afraid. And I like the way the opposition coming together. If we come together, we can put the government feet into fire, and then they will do the rightful things.
Okay.
Why you can do the rightful things?
Thank you.
You say you remove speaker, then you come out tomorrow, you say you want, you come out yesterday, then you say you want normal again, you're looking for normal. You get new resolution. What kind of unserious government is this?
Thank you. Thank you, my dear brother.
Thank you for the time, man.
Thank you, Taylor. We leave you. We go to Peter Lynn Peters. You are the second to the last.
Good evening, okay?
Go ahead, Peter Lynn. Let's hear you. No time. Go ahead, Peter Lynn Peters. Let's hear you. Oh no, I mean we can't get you. We'll have to take this last person on the line. Go ahead, you're the last caller.
Yeah, thank you very much, KOK, and thank you my parent sister Alexa. For the American nations, I'm Pokat Robert.
Pokat. Go ahead, Pokat. Let's hear you.
Okay, and I told you from the grounds of the democratic change.
The government already paraded with their security people. They said the day I try to get outside or meet stiff resistance.
Okay, you know that the faculty and the tenacity, the fighting spirit of the CDC never dies. You know that when it comes to freedom, fighting was freedom and justice, it never dies in the CDC. That thing I brought on a caricature, police, they're talking. Okay, watch the show. Watch the show. We are not a disorganized party.
I mean, you're scared of police, man. As soon as you go protest, man, fire 2-3 guys you lost. Stop making be more.
Okay.
Yeah.
What you here doing the bloody Monday?
Oh yeah.
When I said put on land and mother, but was still fighting for the justice.
Oh yeah.
In the hour, Bwaka and the former president of my electronic studies.
I was there.
The CDC have the courageousness, they have the tenacity, and they have the fortitude to fight for the freedom and justice. Mr. Bwaka is not a man of this country. The Constitution of Mr. Bwaka even protected by is the man of this country. And Mr. Bwaka, if you the Constitution, then Mr. Bwaka is not president. Mr. Bwaka is not president. He just followable to the. He just followable at the Assembly Mansion. But the conclusion conclude.
Quickly.
Okay, we are coming and we are coming for a good. We are coming. Today you have the second meeting of our opposition or parties. They said that they are serious. So when Mr. Bwaka feel I was saying like that because of Choe, that Mr. Bwaka what? You can bring a hooligan police. You can bring a man-made police. Trust me. You can kill a revolution, never but kill a revolution.
Okay.
I just want to ask you one question. Now who you came to rest?
Liberians are concerned.
You're not giving the people what they want.
The government is supposed to be law-abiding, responsible. The government with the second arrow representing the rule of law is being accused of being lawless. It is a time for this administration, especially the honorable president, to go back to the drawing board and have a sober reflection of where he has brought us this country, where he intends to take this country, and what Liberians are saying about his stewardship. We had Charles Taylor before. We had Samuel Kayando before. We had Joe Tay before. We had Benjamin Yetem before. Those men are so good and good enough for their memories days. We have new sheriffs in town today. There is a guarantee that after this broadcast era, there will be a new administration. So it is needless for you to think the country belongs to you. Let's lead this country in peace and not in pieces. We think the country should be very peaceful. Alexa, we got to go home.
We're going to be back here on tomorrow. Have yourselves a pleasant time and stay safe, please. Please do.
Okay, have yourself a pleasant time and stay safe. That's why Alexa is saying. Until we return on tomorrow, which is Wednesday, have yourself a wonderful time tonight. Arsenal versus PSG. And we are hoping that Arsenal will become victorious in the process. Then when we meet Arsenal in the Champions League final, Barcelona will walk away with our 6th Champions League trophy.
You not give him the people what they want, then you say you give the rescue. Let me ask you,